Hey guys, it's time for Mindset Monday. Mindset Monday. I want to first start out with saying thank you, thank you, thank you. For those of you that attended the Heart to Soul Women's Conference. It was my first conference that myself and Sheila Tiller-Tooks, her and I, put on. It was our first one. She actually initially called me just to speak. And then, she said, well, why don't we just do it together? And I was scared. Hey, Sharon. But I decided to move forward even though I was scared. It was the best experience ever. Just in doing it, just to see how the whole thing comes together. Now I was able to get rid of all the fear of how all that works. And so now when I do a zone in or something like that, I will be a lot more comfortable in doing that. Hey. So I'm so glad that I said yes to her, even though I was scared and wasn't sure everything that was involved. We both handled the logistics. We both, had our list of what she was going to handle and what I was going to handle. And then we dotted our I's and crossed our T's, and, people buying tickets at the last minute. I mean, it was everything. It was really, really scary, but we did it. It was great. I'm so glad I did that. So for those of you that got to see it, the Heart to Soul Conference, thank you. We had 4 speakers, myself and Sheila, of course. And then we also had Allegra Manigault. Now, she was the mistress of ceremony. She did an excellent job of keeping it flowing. We had Dawn Bostic. She was a speaker. She also talked about loving life in the now. And we had Latrice Ross. She was another speaker, and she talked about lay your burden down. Great. And I myself talked about how to reset the vision for your life. That's what I spoke about. And Sheila spoke about your hero lies within. And then we did a panel Q&A at the end. Awesome. And I'm saying all this to say, guys, I wanted to, of course, say thank you. But every time I speak, I know I'm just so proud of myself for one, but I'm just so glad that I hate that it took me so long to get here to walk in my purpose, but I'm so glad that I finally did, because not sometimes, every time I speak, there is someone in the audience struggling with something that I've already survived, like divorce, or struggling with something that they too have lost a child, or their friend just lost a child. I mean, every single time I speak. And so it just sums it up that what I do, what I have, the strategies that I used to overcome those things that I went through is just so needed. Why? Because we do not talk. You never know. I mean, you could be standing right next to someone. They're struggling with the same thing that you've already survived, but you'll never know it because no one will say anything. Nobody wants to know or wants you to know that they're going through a divorce, or that they're struggling with losing their child, or their child. Nobody wants you to know those things about them. They just grin and bear it. And it's just time to start the conversation, because these are things that are happening. And this is what I talked about when I was talking about resetting your vision. I mean, I've had to rebuild my life several times after trauma and tragedy. But it made me who I am today, and I'm able to be on this live and stand up on a stage and speak about the things that I did and to get me through, to overcome. And I just wanted to just come and that's what I mean with the title, from nightmare to fairy tale. God put you where you need to be at the right time of life. Exactly. Sharon, one of my clients, I love her, but it's from nightmare to fairy tale. From nightmare to fairy tale. Basically, I turned my pain into action and made it a business. I turned my pain into action and made it a business. Because why? Well, one, God was nudging me to go ahead and get this done. And I had procrastinated, but I actually, in procrastination, I delayed what I was really put here to do. I delayed it, but I'm so glad I did it when I did it, because I do truly feel that I can really now, at this stage of my life and at the mindset that I'm walking forward with now, that I can actually handle it and really, really, because I never want to do anything and not get the result that I'm looking for. And that's why the fear of writing the book, it took me so long to write it, because I wanted to make sure it was right. I wanted to make sure it was what people needed. It had to be right. And I gave it everything I got, and it is helping people like you would not believe. And I'm just so proud of it. That's like my proud project, my book. You guys have heard me talking about my book, A Cracked Egg by Stephanie Rochelle. So I just really wanted to say, I just wanted to let you know what I really, really have going on. I turned my pain into action and made it a business. Like, this is a business for me. This is what I really do. This is what I was put here to do. I am here to help other women. Women is who I work with. Overcome their trauma and the pain and loss. The pain of loss. That's what I'm here to do. Hey, Sanidria, thanks for coming back. From nightmare to fairy tale. Now I'm ready to help others do the same thing. My book was just the beginning. That's how I initially wanted to help women get over or survive the trauma and the pain of loss. That's how I originally wanted to do it. That's all I thought I was supposed to do, was write the book to help the people. Write the book. It is a hospital full of sick children. The parents need me. It is so many ladies going through divorce, struggling with that, can't move forward. You need me. You need me. Been through it, got the t-shirt, know all about it, know about the disappointment, know about the hurt. Got it. Survivor. Got it. The shame of it, I get it all. But you know what? It was up to me to start the conversation, because we're not talking about it. We're not. But these are these things happen in life. It happens. And really, God gave me what I needed. And I'm the one that you need to help you overcome the things that you have going on. And here's the thing. I just want to ask you, are you living a nightmare and don't know how to pick up the pieces? A lot of people don't know how to pick up the pieces. And for me, that have already dealt with picking up the pieces, that's the best person to get the information from. Not somebody that hasn't been through a divorce, not somebody that hasn't lost a child, not somebody that has not had to overcome a lot of traumas and had to rebuild their life. That's who you want to hear from. At least that's who I wanted to hear from. And you know what? There wasn't anybody that could tell me after I lost my son how to get up and go to work, how to pack up his clothes after he died. And there was nobody to help me through none of that. So, I mean, when I was talking to the ladies at our event on Saturday, like I said, every time, guys, there is someone in the audience. And that's how I know that we have to continue to have the conversation, and that what I have is needed, because it was someone in the audience. She says, oh my gosh, my friend just lost her child. It was someone in the audience that was struggling. She was talking about writing a book. She had wrote a couple of chapters, but she needed me. She needed to hear from me to get that push to continue on her journey. Struggling. There was another lady, my daughter said, she just kept getting up and down. She was going through a divorce. She came up to me afterwards. She needed to hear from me Saturday. And every time before I speak, I ask God, give me the words to whoever is here, is what they need to hear. Because not one time, every time I speak, my story is different. You guys, I stay up all night. I try to make sure I'm going to say this. I try to make sure I'm going to say that. Never the same. It's always coming from the heart and what it is that he wants me to tell you. every single time. And you just do not know. My husband just look at me every time. I'm up 1 o'clock. Friday night, I was just up. Oh yeah, I got to make sure I tell him this. And I got to make sure I tell him that. He totally takes over, and he knows who is going to be in the audience, and they get exactly what they need to get from me. It totally amazes me. It totally amazes me. What you said, Tammy, that's so true that you can't, you cannot. I try. Tammy, I try. I have it all written down. I have a whole notebook full of stuff. Which I'm so happy. I'm so happy because I only want to tell you what he wants what he wants me to tell you. Yes, I have survived this stuff. Yes, I do have strategies, but in addition to that, it's something specific that you may need to hear. That if I'm just rambling on, you may not get it. So that's why I always ask, exactly, it's authentic. I always ask him, please give me what they need to hear. Because that's what it's all about. If I'm just up there speaking and you're not really getting it, then I'm not really doing what he asked me to do. Not really doing what he asked. Now, Bentley never barks. He wants to bark tonight. He barked last week too. But yeah, it's just, I just want you guys to hear my heart. Because it is just so true. So true. So I just came on here tonight for a short time because typically after I speak, I'm just like exhausted for a couple of days. But I really wanted to come tonight and talk to you about the nightmare to the fairy tale. Love the barking. So, are you living a nightmare and don't know how to pick up the pieces? Let's get back to that. From healing to victory. That's my fairy tale. See, the fairy tale is so very different for everybody. What is your fairy tale? What is the thing that you are struggling to pick up the pieces? Because when we figure that out, you'll be living your fairy tale. Because really and truly, your fairy tale does not exist when you're stuck in picking up the pieces. You got to do the work. You got to move through it. You got to find a way to win. You got to find a way to win. You got to find a way to deal with disappointment. You got to find a way to get more peace during and after divorce. These are the things you got to push through it. You got to know how to show up fully for yourself to get your fairy tale. That's what we got to figure out. We got to learn how to deal with anger. We got to learn how to respond. I've been talking about that I've been going live for almost a year. You guys have always heard me talk about how you respond and how you react. It's key. It goes the same thing from pushing through and learning how to overcome the things you're going through. You got to learn how to respond. Because I'm here to tell you, dreams really do come true. You really can live your fairy tale. The fairy tale does exist. It really, really does. And the fairy tale is the other side of the nightmare. It's the other side. It's the other side. So how do you let trauma define you? How do you let trauma define you? How do you respond or not respond when you experience hurt and disappointment? How do you respond or how do you not respond? When you're going through those moments, when you're in the middle of picking up the pieces, you're not really there yet, because it's a work in progress. I didn't get it overnight. As I was going through it, I was learning. I was gaining wisdom. I tried to put it all here. But sometimes, the book is a good start. Everybody won't find me on the stage. They may never meet me. But they may scroll across Amazon and be able to get the book. So now I see, because I tell you, literally, I thought once I wrote the book, I said, okay, God, I did what you asked me to do. All right, I'm good. I was obedient. Push me into speaking. But do you know, when I went back and looked at it, I truly believe in vision boards. It's part of the healing process. When I went back and looked at my vision board I don't know if you guys heard me say this. Do you realize that speaking was on my vision board? Now, I don't know how in the world that got there. I really, really don't. Through osmosis, I don't know. Speaking. Matter of fact, it's right there. I got my vision board. Hold on. Y'all, look at that. Well, you see that boss right there. Look at that. Stage. I'm like, who put that on there? Living your best life. Game changer. No excuses. Show up for life. That's what's on my vision board. That's what speaks to me. That's what I need to look at every day. You see, it's right here. It's right here in front of me. You know what else I got on? I got on there sleep, because I don't sleep. Because I'm always churning. Y'all pray for me with the sleep. I don't sleep at all. My husband be knocked out. Whew. Especially when I was writing my book, I'd wake up writing, roll over writing. When it comes to me, when he give it to me, I got to give it to you. So I just wanted you to learn a little bit more about me, because I realized that you guys didn't really know everything about me and what I really, really was put here to do. What my purpose was for. Why I really, really started going live in the first place. It's because I wanted to help more people get through. I had been through some really, really traumatic experience. If you guys don't know my story, the reason why I call myself Stephanie Rochelle, the Fairytale Strategist, is because I lost my son. This was years ago, but that was the most devastating thing ever. But in losing my son, like I said, there was nobody. Like, I wish I could have had somebody to reach out to say, how did you do this? How do you go on? There was nobody. There was nobody. I prayed a whole lot. I played a lot of tennis. You guys know I love tennis. I was playing tennis back then too. I played tennis almost every day. That was my self-love, just to kind of sitting in the house and make you go crazy. So it was just some things that I had to start doing every day until I could figure out how to push through. And staying busy was what I did with playing tennis. It kept me busy. But that was the most devastating and traumatic experience. And getting through that, what I learned is when my divorce came, when I was going through my divorce, the strategies that I used to get through that, to overcome that, were the same strategies that I used to get through my divorce. And I understand now, coming full circle, my friend at church, he was the associate pastor, he started asking me to speak with the women that were going through a divorce that had been married a long time like myself. And I said, I don't want to speak to, what am I supposed to tell them? He said, I have never, ever seen anybody go through divorce like you. Just tell them whatever it is that you did. But those strategies I had developed when I lost my son. So it's the same strategies. It's the same strategies that I carry with me through anything that I'm going through. And it has gotten me through some major, major stuff. And so that's what I mean when I say I had to rebuild my life several times. Yes, because I've been through some major trauma. But you know what? I never lost my joy. Never lost my joy. Still smiling. Like my neighbor would tell me all the time, if I did not know what you were going through, living right next door to you, I wouldn't even know it. I wouldn't even know it, because regardless, I choose to get up and be happy. No matter what. Doesn't mean that I don't have sad moments, but I just choose to get up happy, because I just refuse to allow whatever it is to steal my entire day. And especially after watching a child be sick, who always was happy anyway, regardless of him being sick, I just won't allow it to be an excuse. It just changed my whole life and how I look at everything. It really, really did. It really, really did. So I wanted you to understand, when I say I'm the fairy tale strategist, I have went from the nightmare to the fairy tale, literally, in a lot of different situations. But I realized that the strategies that I used, I continue to use them over and over and over again. And that's how I can stand up here on the stage. That's how I can go Facebook Live and let you guys know, because I'm a living result. It works. My strategies work. And like I said, I had to be shown, though. Like, I knew what it did for me, but I had to be shown and how he dealt with me when I wrote the book, and then he pushed me to get on stage, because I needed to see that there were many, many women that needed my help, because they ended up being, every time I speak, they're there. Every time I speak, some friend just happened to bring them. They had no idea that I was going to be there talking about how to overcome issues. They had no idea. I talk about how to reset your vision. Nobody knows what that really is. But I'm really giving you steps on how to overcome trauma and the pain of loss. And loss could be from divorce or anything. The strategies are still the same. My strategies are the same. Same ones I use and will continue to use, and that I taught my daughter. Because and my daughter watching me turn my pain into a business, or my pain into my purpose, she also was learning how to get through things, how to get through disappointment, because she was right there with me as I was a single parent. When I went through my divorce, it was me and her. I didn't realize it. She didn't, but she was soaking it all up, because I wanted her to be able to learn how to respond and react, learn how to communicate. That's why I talk about, is your communication corrupt? The stuff that I went through, it just gave me the wisdom. It gave me the wisdom to show others how to get through some stuff. How to get through some stuff, because at some point in time, like I tell people when I speak, my childhood was wonderful. A lot of times things happen to others in their childhood, and they're still struggling with it when they become an adult. They bring it into the relationship. That's why I talk about relationships sometimes. It's all a part of the puzzle. A lot of the stuff that happened to you in your childhood, you don't even realize it, because it comes from everything that you saw, the relationships that you saw. You respond and react the same way that you saw others respond and react. It's in here. And sometimes we don't realize that it was the wrong thing to follow, but it was all we had to follow. It was what we were around. So we just carry it into the relationship, into the next relationship. And until we realize it, until we start working on it, until we start talking about things, until we start having these types of conversations, we don't even know that we're broken. Like, I didn't even know that I was in a toxic relationship for years. Mainly because I have such a strong personality that whatever he was dishing, I could take it anyway. He wasn't bothering me. Not how he would really be seriously bothering somebody else. Like somebody else that wasn't me. But it was mainly because of what I had already been through with my son. So what he was dishing, it was nothing. So when he left, when he didn't want to be there no more, so to speak, okay. That's okay. Hey, Linda Sue. It's been a great journey through it all. I am so happy to be here. And I just wanted to come tonight, give you a little bit of the real story that you guys really don't see, because if you haven't really seen me speak. And when I speak, I literally talk from my book. Not just relationships, because relationships is a piece. It's in the book too. Because sometimes you got to learn how to stop loving somebody that has already stopped loving you. It's in the book. It's in the book. I make you write some stuff out. It's in the book. It's the beginning. It's the beginning steps to my strategy. It's the beginning steps. The book is. But then we have to go a little deeper. But it sets the stage for who Stephanie Rochelle, the Fairytale strategist, who I am. That's why last week I talked about who am I. Because I'm kind of easing you in to what the fairytale is really, really about. I love talking about relationships. I love helping ladies with relationships. But really and truly, what we really need to get are the strategies that it took for me to be who I am today. It will really, really, the wisdom that I gained from those experiences, I share it. I share it with you. Now some of the ways that I went about doing it, like I said, I believe in vision boards. Design a vision board of what you want and where you want to be. I showed you my vision board tonight. That's exactly what I wanted. I basically spoke it into existence, because when I did this vision board, I had not had one speaking engagement. But it was on my board. And what do I do now? Speak. I not only speak, I actually put on a conference. Put on a conference. I did it anyway. I moved in fear. And you know what? That morning, one of the speakers, she was already there. Hey, Renee. One of the speakers, she got there before we got there. And she said, they said they're not expecting us until 1 o'clock. Now, the conference started at 10. It started at 10, but they wasn't expecting us till 1 o'clock. So you know what that meant? The room wasn't set up. Now, we had done a run of show. We had worked everything out. Of course, they had the correct time, but something in the translation, something got messed up. But you know what? We got on the phone. We handled it. Everything was all good. We started right on time. It was great. And it was a great experience for all of us to make that happen. We had many, many meetings to make sure it was a success. And I'm very proud to be our first one. Very, very proud. So now one of the things, like I said, I'm back to telling you, design a vision board of what you want and where you want to be. Then you have to trust yourself and your ability to succeed. And a lot of times that's where we fall short, in trusting ourselves. And that's why we just stay right there trying to pick up the pieces. We just stay stuck right there trying to pick up the pieces. It's because we don't trust ourselves and our ability to make it happen or to push through it. Same strategies I use for everything I went through. I always set a strategy in place to win. What type of strategy do we need to put in place for you to win in your situation? What type of strategy? I'm standing here today, a result of strategies, winning strategies. But I literally had to get uncomfortable to get to my fairy tale. I had to let go of the fear. And I really delayed it. I delayed my purpose because of the fear. And one day I said, okay, Steph, you done made it through everything. It's time. I finally listened. When he gave me the nudge again, when he put me on the tennis team with all of these other authors, I said, okay, Steph, you have something to give to the ladies as well. This is time to get it done. And the ladies at my conference that I was talking to, that's what I was telling them. It's time to get it. It's time to get it done. It's time to get it done. It's time to get it done. How do you show up fully for yourself and get your fairy tale? Because this is only for you if you're ready for change. I can't talk you into change. You have to be ready for change. You really, really have to be ready for change. You have to be ready to take action. You have to be ready to say yes. You have to be ready to say yes. I've already done it. I'm ready to walk through any hard door. That's what I'm just knocking the doors down now. You want me to help you do a conference? Oh, okay. Moved anyway, even in fear. Never ever planned a conference in my life. But God charged me with supporting others in overcoming. That was a way to do it. Hey, Blake. You saw me on the live. He charged me. And I was telling the ladies when I was speaking on Saturday, everything that you go through, yes, it's for you to overcome it, but it's for somebody else as well. Like I said, every time I speak, there's someone in the audience that's struggling with what I've already survived. Not sometimes when I speak, every time literally that I have spoken on the stage, there is people in the audience that come up to me afterwards in tears. Like I told you, the one lady that was going through her divorce, she couldn't even sit down. She was just up and down, up and down. My daughter said, Mom, I think you need to go talk to that lady. Before I could even get to her, she was coming to me. She was right in front of me. Right in front of me. Because she could tell I had been sitting exactly where she was sitting right now. She felt my authenticity. She felt it. She felt it. She felt it. My strategies of overcoming can be applied to whatever you're struggling with. I've used my initial strategies that I had to push through when I lost my son. I have used over and over again in so many different situations. Relationships, divorce, issues at my job. I set a plan in place to win, period. Period. It's very, very hard to divorce a narcissist. A narcissist is a manipulator, controlling. I still won. I won. I set a plan in place. I just sit back now just like, Won't he do it? Same thing with getting my fairy tale. When I was back out in these streets trying to date again, I set a plan in place. I had to. For one, now I didn't think I even needed to do it in that area. I had to. I had not dated. I had initially married my high school sweetheart. And what I realized, the reason why I always continue to put a plan in place, because I have been an analyst, my profession, my job, 30 years as an analyst. All day, we solve problems. That is all day. Every day for 30 years, I've been writing programs to solve problems. So it makes sense with me being a coach that I will put a plan in place to solve your problem. It just came full circle. That's why me and not somebody else. For one, someone that's actually lived it, been through it, and realized I've been doing it for 30 years. Putting a plan in place. How do we win? But like I said, you have to be ready to change. You have to be ready to get a result. Because some people just like to continue to try to keep picking up the pieces. Or they like to lay there and be depressed. So you really, really have to be ready for change in order to be helped, in order to move forward. You have to be ready. You have to see it. You have to look at it every day. Start with the vision board. Do that on your own. Start with the vision board. Some people won't even do the vision board. And that's just simple. Just put it on the board. What is it that you want? Start there. It's time to get to the other side. The fairy tale is on the other side of the nightmare. Losing my son, nightmare. Divorce, nightmare. Disappointment, nightmare. Life didn't turn out the way I wanted it to turn out, nightmare. But oh, when I did the work, when I continued to do the work, fairy tale. The end result was the fairy tale. Fairy tale. So I just wanted to come, let you guys know, like I said, I wouldn't keep you long, but I just wanted you to really understand who Stephanie Rochelle, the fairy tale strategist, who she was. I've said it many times on this live, everything that I've been through, but sometimes you may jump in late, you may miss it. Some people didn't even know I had a book. I'm an author. Some people don't understand why I'm going live, like what the intention is. So I wanted to come and set an intention and make sure you understand how I can really support you. Because I don't want you to be stuck, but you have to not want to be stuck. So I'm going to ask you again, from healing to victory, that's my fairy tale. What's your fairy tale? What does it really mean? How would it look for you to be living your best life? So I'm going to leave you with that. I want you to just think about that. That's what I'm saying, Linda. Yeah. What does that really mean? And that's what I try to tell people, because you could be married and still not be living your fairy tale. I'm not saying that your marriage is in trouble. You and your husband could be getting along just fine, but there's still a piece that you know that you should be doing, that you need to work through something in order for it to really, really be your fairy tale life. It has nothing to do with you and your husband's relationship. It has everything to do with you. Everything to do with you. And the funny thing is, guys, 30 years as being an analyst, computer programmer. Oh my God, after about 10 years, guys, I was so burnt out. Maybe 10, maybe 15 years. I was so burnt out on being a computer programmer. I'm like, okay, I know I can do more than this. And that's when I became a real estate agent. I've been an agent for like 11 years. And that was that people part because I was literally put here to help people. And that's why I love being a real estate specialist. I mean, I just love it. Absolutely love it. But even in selling you your house, you got to put a plan in place. Everything is a plan. And we work the plan. I mean, and when I came into the market, I mean, that's when short sales and foreclosures, everybody was losing their house. I mean, who more? I mean, so many people wanted to work with me because I was compassionate. Because I put myself in their shoes. I was not judgmental. Because it could be anybody. Everybody was losing their home back then, 2008, 2009. Oh my gosh. And then here comes Stephanie Rochelle through the door with the plan. And when I left, everybody was smiling. Some people are just put here to bring the sunshine. I try to bring it everywhere I go. Again, because of my son. Because of my son. Because of my son. So I hope you guys have learned a lot more about Stephanie Rochelle and what in this journey that she's on, this journey of supporting women and moving forward so that you too can go from nightmare to fairy tale. We need to get a clear picture of where you want to be. So do that for me. Go ahead and start that vision board. No matter what's going on right now, just depict a clear picture of where you want to be. I need you to start there. And if you know you're ready for change, if you know you're an action taker, because if you're not, then it's not time. It's not time for us to get together. It's not time for us to get together. I'm going to ask you to start with the book. Get it on Amazon. A Cracked Egg by Stephanie Rochelle. It'll get you started. But it's nothing like putting a plan in place with the Fairy Tale Strategist. But that's only if you're ready for change. Thank you, Linda. Linda read my book. She said it's a great book. It is a great book. You sitting right there with me in everything that I went through. I gave you everything I had because, again, I had to be authentic. I had to be authentic. I want you to realize some stuff. I have also been through lots of things. Got to teach her, hey, Lysandra. Been friends for years. Yep. So she can definitely tell you Lysandra, you got to go back and listen, and I need you to comment. You know. That's who I am. Yep. You guys, we gotta. Your mind. The thoughts that go on in our head, guys, it'll mess us up. It delayed all of this. Well, I say it did, but I truly, I don't think I could have pulled it off before. Even though I had already lived the result, I had already did the work, but I wasn't ready. I had to grow up a little bit and go live, and the way that they're doing, bringing the business to the people now. Woo. And now on stage, that's why I say start with the vision board, because literally stage is on my vision board, and I didn't even see it. But again, I just wanted to thank everybody for coming to the conference. I wanted to let you guys know the speakers and the mistress of ceremony in case you had an event and needed some speakers. Great time. I had family come up from North Carolina. I was supposed to be at a baby shower. I couldn't go because I had people. I was so all the way they came to support. They were proud of me. I was glad I was making them proud, It was a good day. Good day. But that's all I wanted to come and say, you guys. Again, just think about it. If you're ready to go from nightmare to fairy tale, reach out. Let's see what it looks like. You guys have a good night. I'm going to call it a night because, like I said, after the weekend that I had, busy, and this weekend, another busy event. You guys will see me post because I'm actually going to be in Douglasville on Saturday. And I can't think of where it is. I got to look it up. And Sunday, I'm going to be at another event. It's a breast cancer event that I'll also be there as well as a vendor. Selling my book, letting people know how to go from nightmare to fairy tale. So you'll be seeing and hearing more. I'll be coming live next Monday. Yes, I know. I need to get some rest. I've been doing a lot. But like I said, I've been charged with coming and, that's what he put on my heart. So that's what I wanted to make sure that you got and understood, how I turned my pain into action and made it a business. So you guys, thanks for joining, and good night.